Yep.
Back in the house once again.
Yes. Clark Brothers, Heaven Westwood with another breakdown and a power announcement right here.
Right, we have to go into this, man. So let people know that Tariq and Cain Tejada are brothers.
Our
And we
brother.
will let y'all know how that is. Tariq, St. Patrick, and Cain Tejada are brothers.
They are
We gonna
brothers.
let
Da,
y'all know.
da,
I know
da.
everybody's sitting there like, what?
Yep.
But
You ever notice that sibling rivalry vibe between them? Every time they, Kane, but we'll explain it real quick, and it is explained in detail in our original plans.
no
We
plan.
have the original plan for Kane. We got the original plan for Kane. We have the original plan for Tariq. We have the original plan for Kanan. So
Right.
let's get it. We will give you a brief breakdown of it here, and then you could go and get all the details with that.
Right.
Don't forget to
Remember
like,
plan.
share,
Go
and
back and check
subscribe.
them out. Absolutely. Like, share, subscribe, let everybody know about it. And let's get into this real quick because I know everybody's like, what in the heck are y'all talking about? So, in order to break this down, we're gonna have to start with the players involved. You know, um, Cain Tejada's mother is Monet Tejada, formerly Monet Stewart, and Tariq St. Patrick's mother is Tasha St. Patrick, formerly Tasha Green.
Yep.
The father is known for Cain. The father is known to be Lorenzo Tejada, and of course, the father is known to be for Tariq St. Patrick as James St. Patrick. So we all know that those are the real mothers.
Yep.
So that he really was birthed by Monet. But we're gonna go into Cain. Let's handle Cain first. Let's handle Cain first.
Got it. Yeah. So basically, Kane, Kanan
Exactly. Let's start that from there.
started from there.
Kanan Stark Jr.
Junior,
is his name.
his
That's
name,
brilliant.
not Lorenzo Tejada Jr. Originally, he was Kanan Stark Jr.
Right.
Okay. I think it was Junior, or maybe he was the second. I don't remember what they told us, but it was either Junior or the second. But either way,
I believe it was Junior.
yeah. And nickname Kane.
Right. That's
So,
the reason why.
mhm,
If anybody if anybody, if you remember, they weren't even mentioning for a long time why this dude's name
they
was
call him
Cain,
Kane.
was
Yeah.
calling him Cain, and then one time we put something up that went viral. Courtney Kemp got all in her feelings and started fighting with us in the comments. Anybody that's been following my Twitter a long time, you'll be able to find that somewhere. She got all in her feelings and started fighting with us in the comments, saying that's not true. That's not true. I've never seen a creator or owner of a show say that's not true. Instead of her saying, "Well, I guess hey, you guys got to watch and find out." So she was mad because we found out about the concept, from the original plan. As we all know, to people that does not know, we were in the television industry, still in the television and film industry, and we know a lot of people in the industry. Some of them who may or may not still be connected to the power universe. So
Mhm,
that's how we found out. So let's
mhm.
go into Cain being um
The
Canan's
son.
son,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Explain that to everybody.
Okay, so it's very pretty simple. Kanan Stark, at one point met Monet Stewart, who originally was living in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
He was messing with her, and basically he got her pregnant. He never, but see, Kanan never knew about Cain.
Right. He knew about Ken. Now remember, she was in Brooklyn. She,
And she
she
went to
had
North
he
Carolina.
was older than her, but again, you know, he was messing with her. Remember, then she went to North Carolina,
Yeah,
right? She went to North Carolina because she
that's
got pregnant with Dante Spears' kid.
yeah, that's
Right?
true. Yeah,
Yeah. So she went to North
left
Carolina.
him
That's when
there.
she had
Yeah,
Zeke. And then once she came back, she re-linked up, with
with Kanan.
Canaan. And then that's when, because when she was came before, it's kind of just like cool or whatever, and he would talk to her and stuff like that. And then, but they got serious when she came back and relinked with him. That's when they became intimate,
Hmm.
and she got pregnant with his
Again,
kid, right? Pregnant with his kid, and then shortly after that, later on, in
she met
'99,
Lorenzo.
right, she met Lorenzo. Now, when um, she met Lorenzo late, so because Cain was born in
October.
October '99,
Yep.
right? So he was already born. So she met Lorenzo, probably the end of '99,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then from there, so Cain was already, he was either, the way they had it played, he was either already born or she was already pregnant with him,
Yeah.
and she got into it Lorenzo, but Lorenzo agreed. He was taken by her, and he was basically telling her, "You don't have to worry about nothing. I'll take care of you and your
You
son."
can't. Yep.
I mean, and your sons, and that's the reason why he took on the name of, he changed the name to Lorenzo. Like that's why they said, "Oh, it was Lorenzo Tyler." But Cain, he kept that name Cain because of Canaan. She
Yeah.
had already named him, and then they tried to play it up and say, "Oh, because he used to spin around like a hurricane." Now, what sounds more believable? The original plan of his father being Canaan,
Mhm.
and then came by short, or he used to spin around like a hurricane. Well, how come his name ain't Tornado? Tornado spin.
Right. Yep. Cyclone
Cyclone
spin.
spin. How come
Yep.
his name was Cyclone?
Yeah. Why
So
not call him
that didn't
cyclone?
make sense. They
So
was just trying
that's
to cut it off at the
exactly.
pass.
Try
Yeah.
to pass. So that's one grammar proof. We'll give you another grammar proof. Just look at it. Just look at them.
Right.
I mean, Woody McLean, who's cast as Kane, and does a great job. He's a good actor.
Hmm.
They casted him originally because he doesn't favor 50 Cent, but I mean he's the bright complexion, something like that.
Right.
Look at how Sean had came out. He was
Right.
dark skinned too. So look at this guy. I mean, we all know we grew up in New York. Yeah, I mean, a lot of Puerto Ricans getting with blacks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing Puerto Rican about Kane.
Okay,
I'm
you don't
sorry.
look at all.
You have a
Drew and
yep,
Diana can pass for half Dominican, half
yep,
Puerto Rican.
have
Kane
Puerto Rican.
cannot,
Yep,
right?
they can.
So that's how what handled with that. And and you want some more proof?
Yep,
How about the way he talks to Kane as
yep.
opposed to the way he
Lorenzo.
talked to his other son,
Yeah.
right?
Remember he
Remember,
jumped
remember in
over.
jail when he beat him up? If
Yep.
you ever put your hands on my wife again, not if you ever
Hmm.
put your hands on your mother again, if you ever
Right.
put your hands on my wife again, that's
Hmm.
that's because of what. And then what? At one time, what did Monet say to
Diana.
Diana? You've always been. Thank you for being nice to me, being nice to Cain. Why wouldn't she be nice to Cain?
Right. That's her brother, right?
Right? If Cain is her real brother, right?
Hmm.
And she came afterwards. Why wouldn't she be nice to Cain?
Yeah. I'll add to that proof as well. The way Lorenzo treated him. If he's Lorenzo Tejada Jr., why would he jump over him and want to groom Drew to
Right.
be the new kingpin, to be
Right.
his successor. If this is Lorenzo Tejada Jr., this is his biological son. Cain always been about it. Even though that he had a little bit of a hothead, he is definitely more. I mean, don't get me wrong. Drew is smart and all that stuff, but Drew did not
Right.
want that life.
Right.
Cain did. You
A
gotta want that life.
little bit of a
I don't
hothead
care
like
how.
his father.
Yeah. So like his
Real
father,
father.
his real father, exactly.
Real father.
So that is that right there, and then you can. We did the original plan for it. We'll have the description. In the description, we'll
Right.
put the link,
Go check out
and
the
you can get more
full
detail that
details.
way. The full detail. Now let's switch over to Tariq. This
So,
is where it got
right. This is
completely
where you got to pay
complicated.
attention because
Yeah.
this is, it's just tricky, but it's really not that tricky. But, a lot of people, the first thing when we say they're brothers, so what are you telling me? That Canaan was Tariq's father? Yes, that's what we're telling you.
Yes.
Now, I tell you exactly how that is possible. Now, I know a lot of people. The first thing they're gonna say, "Oh, how they're gonna do that when Raina and him are twins? Is Raina his son too? Well, she could have
His
been. I
daughter.
mean, her daughter too. I mean, that could have happened, but that's not what happened.
That's
Um,
not what they originally had.
right? That's not what they originally
They
had.
could have went that route too, but that's not what they originally had.
Right.
What they
They wanted
originally,
to make this mind blowing, and they
yeah,
first was going to do it. And I always blame the director for them going the opposite direction because one day he put up, he figured it out, and because we have connections inside, we admit we cheated. Somebody
yeah,
told us.
yeah,
Right? And then
yeah,
we made the mistake of putting it out in social media, and Courtney Kemp saw it, and she was absolutely livid because she
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
she knew somebody had to have been talking
Had to told
because
that because
because
this
of
is
this
so off
scenario.
the wall.
Yeah, right. It's so off the wall. You just can't make this up. And just by hearing this, you'll know
Mhm.
exactly this was the original plan. Now,
Yeah,
Tariq, Kanan messed around with the
with
remember that
Tasha.
whole circle of him, Ghost, and Tasha,
Yep.
right? So Tasha, that's how it went, got upset at Ghost one night,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Tasha ended up going out to a club,
Mm-hmm.
um, drink, uh, drinking,
Drinking. Yeah.
ends up drinking with Kanan. She ends up going home, sleeping with Kanan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you're followers and you start thinking back to these scenes, you'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that definitely makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
She
Right.
slept with Kanan. Now, within 24 hours, she goes back. Her and Ghost makes up. She sleeps with Ghost. Okay. So that result, she gets pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the result of that is what's the name of it?
It is called superfecundation. I'll say it again. Superfecundation. This is a rare condition. This is real life we're talking about here. This
Real
really
life.
happens.
Yep.
Superfecundation is the fertilization of two or more over of eggs from the same menstrual cycle by sperm from different occurrences and of intercourse, right, or insemination. This potentially results in twin babies that have different biological fathers.
And that is what happened with Tariq and Raina. So that explains that.
Mhm. Yep,
If you want to go into deeper content, like I said, we have the original plan for that up there.
indeed.
When you think about it and say, well, why? How would you figure that? Listen, I'll give you some more context. Why did you? Didn't you ever sit down? A whole lot of people did. Did you just sit around thinking, why does Tasha want Kanan dead so bad?
Yeah. I'm just showing
Right?
for you continue. I'm just showing you right here in case y'all think I'm making it up.
And we think we
Here it
capping.
is right here. Superfecundation. This is
Yeah.
a situation. These are people. These are twins, right here. Look, here's a picture right here of a real life couple that
Mhm.
has. Look. There's a different guy, two different guys, one girl pregnant. This
Okay,
this is
it
real
happened.
life. It happened. We didn't understand it at all either until we were told about it. Then we
We
went and
just
looked it
thought
up.
Raina was going to end up being his as well. But
Yeah,
when they
we
said
yep,
no, and they were doing, we're like, wait a minute, but they're twins. And then they explained that that's what it was. What happened with, and that's what they remember, that's the original plan. What
yep,
happened is Courtney Kemp saw that she was going to make it a mind blowing
yep.
thing at the end, right?
Hmm.
So but when she sort of we figured it out, then she went back to, like we said, there's alternates, there's other options. So
Yeah,
they decided to go the other way with it,
yep.
right? And just make them both, ghost
Just make it
kids.
where
But
he was just very fond of Tariq.
right, but they made,
But yeah,
but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't
yeah.
work when you look at how close Kanan was to Jukebox, right?
Hmm.
You're talking about and I don't care what happened in their past. Jukebox saved Kanan's life when he had
Yeah,
burnt up. So if
yeah,
something was, and the only reason why she did that is because that was her cousin, and they were close. And you see how close these two are.
yep,
Why would Kanan save Tariq over Jukebox when he really just met Tariq?
yeah.
Why would he do that?
Why? There's only one reason why, because Tariq, at some point, Kanan was supposed to find out that, or at least figure out that Tariq was his son,
Yeah.
and that is what drew him to Tariq. The
Mhm.
fact that he killed his other son, Sean,
You was
you
more of
know,
a son to me than he
is
ever
more
was.
that that was that
How is
right
that?
there.
This is the op's son. You just met him. You've known
Yeah.
him a couple of weeks.
But yet you were more of a son to me than he ever was. What does that talk about? Him saying he wasn't like you. He was soft, not like you.
Not like
And
you.
all this stuff. He put all that, and the final blow. Why would he not kill Tariq after he figured out that Tariq set him up to get hit by the cops? He
Yeah.
goes, he looks at Tariq, he just walks past him, and then goes and tries to take out the cops and gets killed. And
Yeah.
and
And he had a chance to take Tariq out then.
yeah, yeah, just
He
take him
took
out
out
right
his
there.
real. He took out his real son with no problem. Kanan is a killer. How would
Yeah,
he not take out Tariq just before they got him? I'll give you some more context. Now you have to go and make the connection with Tasha and Kanan.
yep,
Kanan with you filled out when he first was straight.
yep,
How many times did he mention Tasha? He mentioned
hmm,
Sean. So what's Miss old fine ass Tasha St. Patrick doing?
yep,
Then the meeting. She didn't tell Ghost she went to see Kanan. That's what I remember.
hmm.
Because and then what was Kanan saying? You know you like that. You still look
Yeah, he
good.
grabbed her arm and
Yeah.
she was like, "Let go of me." He told us something. You like that,
Right.
girl, but the roughness. Then he talking about you still look good, like you said when he
You
first came out
filled
of
out.
jail. You filled out
Yeah.
because we now if you do the timeline, I believe Tasha, because Kane is about 9 years older than Tasha, right, or 8 years
Mhm.
older than her,
Yeah.
something like that. So Tasha was still young when he was sexing her. When he had that one sex, he wasn't sexing her all the time, but when they had that one
No,
night stand,
but I know, but she was 20 by that
oh, she
time.
was 20 at the time, and he was
She
like
was 20.
28, something like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah,
Because he's
him
5 years
saying you
older than
filled
Ghost.
out and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of those things leads to, and once again, it was Tasha's idea she wanted to kill Kanan,
Still
but
Kanan. Yep.
it was her idea to set him up to go away to prison. And I mean, no, it was Ghost's idea to set up to go to prison. It was her idea to kill him.
Right.
She
And
wanted
that's
him
why
killed.
she was so stressed when he came back. She did not
Yep.
want a secret out. That's why she went to him and basically, was threatening him. If you put your hands on me, you got to kill me. He still looked good. He was looking. Always trying to find and talk about Tasha.
Tasha.
And now
Even
Kanan along the years kind of figured it, but he saw that she had twins And he was like, "No, I guess it's not." Back then they're not gonna, in them days, nobody's gonna know about something this as rare as this. I
Uh-huh.
mean, that'd be the last thing you think. Most people didn't even know that this condition existed,
Yep.
or thought it was possible. But
Hmm.
this again, for people saying, "Whoa, they never said," this is the original plan. So of course
The plan.
they're not gonna come and tell you that. But what they do is throw little hints at you.
Yeah.
Keep
Because they
certain
don't. Yeah, they
elements,
keep certain elements of it. The fact that
of the
she
original
didn't.
plan.
And look at and another thing, in season whatever season two when he was fighting Ghost, you're fighting Ghost with an opportunity to put this guy down, and you're sitting here talking to him about Tasha, still saying, "Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of Tasha," or whatever he said
See?
about that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All of those things he just kept doing. Why would Kanan's little obsession with Tasha seem to be, and Tasha so obsessed with getting rid of Kanan? She has said that a couple of times. I told you should have killed him when I told you, and all that other
Right.
stuff. So, I mean, that's the relation of how Tariq ended up being Kanan's son. So this is pretty much, and you can look it up again on the
Right.
original
On the
plan.
original
We
plan.
went in
And
a
and
little
don't
deeper.
be surprised. There's a lot of spinoffs coming. Do not be surprised if they circle back and hit y'all with a blockbuster in one of these origin shows that release it, because now the years has passed. People are it's time for somebody. It's time for another explosion. And when they may bring it up in origins, because like I said, the original plan is always going to be there. So
Yeah,
it really depends on whether they feel as though the reason why they didn't go with that was because they felt as though it was going to be a little too much confusion, and plus we had
yeah,
already figured it out, right? And
yeah.
well, not figured it out, but someone told us.
We had already brought it to the
We were
light.
acting like we figured it out, but someone told
Yeah. Yeah, we had to act like we figured it out so we don't get the person, our
the person in
contact,
trouble.
in trouble.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I'm sure Courtney Kemp knew that there was a leak somewhere. But the bottom line is that is pretty much the gist of it all, really.
So if you want to
And
hear,
it
if you
you
want to
want to
see
hear
the
more?
details on both Kanan,
Mhm.
Cain, Tariq, go to
Yep.
the original plan, man. We'll put our original plan playlist,
Links. Yep.
up here on the screen. Y'all should be able to
Hmm.
click it and go to them. So that's that. Tariq
That is
St.
it.
Patrick
Uh
and
huh.
Cain Tejada are half brothers, and that's how it happened.
That's how it happens. And you go ahead and check it out. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. I'll tell you what else. You and also put in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you think the original plan should have been
What?
carried
Or
out,
you like this way?
or you like the way it turned out? Yeah. So you let us know in the comment section.
All
That's
right.
it, man. We'll get back to y'all next time.
All
We
right.
come back
Peace.
with some more original plans. Check them all out. We'll put the whole playlist in there.
All
Till
right.
then, it's the Clark Brothers, Wes and Hev, signing off. Peace.
Peace.